5 p.m. At the school gate, a white car hits a girl. The crowd is shocked to see that there has been a car accident. A girl with light brown hair is seen lying in a pool of blood. Books from her school bag are scattered everywhere. People around her quickly start dialing 120 for an ambulance. Yu Yao, a third-year high school student, feels that she must be dead for good. The possibility of resurrection seems slim. She asks a small apple next to her if it is deceiving her. Little Apple, however, tells her to complete the mission of a cannon fodder supporting female characters' counterattack without collapsing the original novel's plot. She needs to help the supporting character reach the pinnacle of her life. This way, she can return to her own normal world. Yu Yao feels that this is a lot to deal with. Little Apple explains that there are levels. The higher the level, the faster the supporting character will succeed in life. However, the completion level of the mission is rated based on the happiness level achieved by the original character. Yu Yao reluctantly accepts this. She then hears a prompt telling her to enter the first world and start the mission. The original character came from a wealthy family and fell in love with the school heartthrob from a scholarly family, Gu Shuriwe. But that school heartthrob already had a white moonlight, Qin Meng. In order to win over the school heartthrob, Yu Yao constantly targeted her. This only made herself more disliked. She also tried to rally others to deal with Qin Meng. As a result, all the people around her were Qin Meng's male supporting characters. For example, the vocational high school's bully, Cheng Zhen, falls directly in love with Qin Meng and starts to turn against Yu Yao. Another example is the rich kid Dong Yu, who does the same. Even her own cousin, Yin Luo, is the same. After reading all this, Yu Yao opens her eyes once again. She sees the school staircase. A woman in a white dress is lying on the ground, with books scattered all over the floor. The people around are also watching her. Yu Yao reaches out her hand, but she quickly realizes that the person in front of her is the female lead. Qin Meng also reacts. It was she who pushed Qin Meng to the ground. If she goes over to help her up, it would collapse the plot. So she quickly gets into character. She arrogantly tells her to get up. Qin Meng staggers. According to the original plot, Yu Yao should now kick her books down the stairs. She can only apologize silently in her heart. She raises her foot, preparing to kick, but she twists her ankle, cries out, and falls into an embrace. Their bodies collide. The person she bumped into leans against the railing. She subconsciously grabs the person's clothes and looks up at the face in front of her. Why is there someone who wasn't in the original plot? She quickly lets go. She blames the man in black for not dodging her, asking if it's because he doesn't have legs. The man in black just silently turns around. His departing figure strikes Yu Yao as a bit strange. She notices his foot is a little lame. She immediately starts to regret what she just said. She wonders whether she should go and apologize to him. But at that moment, someone calls out to her. She looks up. She sees a man with silver hair. Gu Shuriwe warns her to stop these boring actions, because in the end, it will only harm herself. Yu Yao remembers. The line in the original novel was to tell her not to bully Qin Meng. But now it has changed. She immediately asks Little Apple what's going on. It replies that this level of plot deviation doesn't matter. Yu Yao has no choice but to agree. She tells Gu Shuriwe to just wait and see. He squats down and picks up the books from the floor, handing them to Qin Meng. The latter wants to thank him, but is interrupted. Gu Shuriwe apologizes for Yu Yao constantly causing her trouble and says he wants to have a good talk with her. Qin Meng feels his sudden polite distance and wonders why. She resolves to live only for herself in this life and not owe anyone anything. After leaving, Yu Yao still feels that her first encounter with them was a bit off. But Little Apple tells her not to worry, thinking her feeling is just an illusion. What's more important now is to worry about the next scene. In the original plot, the original character is about to meet Cheng Zhen, a fierce fighter from the vocational high school across the street. Then she would bribe him to bully Qin Meng. Cheng Zhen agrees because he is very short on money. Yu Yao is very confident in herself. When she looks back, she sees the man with the limp again. Yu Yao recognizes him. Anyway, there's no one around, so she doesn't need to worry about the plot collapsing. Yu Yao wants to go forward and apologize. But just then, a voice is heard. A man with orange hair taunts the limping man about last time. How dare he fight back last time? He threatens to cripple his other leg this time. A bald man appears beside him. Seeing that he is about to be beaten, Yu Yao immediately tells the man, swinging his fist, to stop. She runs over and stands in front of the limping man, lecturing the bullies. She tells them to keep their hands to themselves. The two bullies are stunned. The orange-haired man thinks the two of them are together. He lies that the limping man injured him last time, and asks Yu Yao for money. The limping man tells Yu Yao to move aside. She gives them a lot of money and forbids them from touching the limping man. The bald man exclaims at how much money there is. But the orange-haired man is especially greedy. He demands $300 for medical expenses and $200 for emotional distress. He also says it's $200 per person and they have 4 brothers. Yu Yao is a little surprised. She points out that their behavior is robbery. If they are over 16 and the amount exceeds 2,000, they could be imprisoned. The men across from her look at each other, appearing a bit flustered. In the end, they just utter a threat and leave. Yu Yao finally breathes a sigh of relief. The limping man says he won't pay her back. Yu Yao had no intention of having him pay her back anyway. She also takes the opportunity to apologize for what happened at noon. She explains that she wanted to apologize then, but was too embarrassed to speak up because her love rival was there. The limping man asks if she is finished speaking. Yu Yao is slightly taken aback. She emphasizes that she respects him very much and wants to get his forgiveness. She even gives a formal bow. Then she smiles, waves goodbye, and leaves. After it's over, Yu Yao remembers she still has a mission target and worries that she might have lost him. The limping man takes a small knife from his pocket. The hand holding the knife eventually loosens its grip. He feels that this is nothing more than something hypocritical and cheap. On a path under the shade of a tree, Cheng Zhen has just taken down a few people. He rubs the back of his head, saying he has finally settled things here. But he feels stressed about his tuition fees. He doesn't want to die alone in prison. He finds it troublesome as he wipes the blood from his hands. Yu Yao approaches to confirm his identity. Cheng Zhen wants to know why she is looking for him. She asks him to do something for her and says she will pay. Cheng Zhen starts to recall Yu Yao's name and finally remembers. In his past life, Yu Yao brought about her own demise because she liked Gu Shiyue. He didn't notice in his past life. Yu Yao's bluffing is quite amusing. He asks what exactly he needs to do. Yu Yao's request is for him to teach someone a lesson, and then he can get money from her. Cheng Zhen quotes a price of 3,000 yuan. Yu Yao, not knowing how much the original character paid, decides to accept his price directly. She agrees at once. She counts the money in her wallet and finds only 27 bills. She is suddenly in an awkward situation. She can only haggle with Cheng Zhen, asking if 2,700 is okay. Cheng Zhen can't help but laugh. He finally agrees. Yu Yao is satisfied that she has finally completed the plot. As for Cheng Zhen, he has become interested in this love-struck drama queen, Yu Yao. In the morning, at home, Yu Yao's mother is waking her up. Zhou Ying is a typical gentle, virtuous wife and loving mother. She tells Yu Yao to get ready to go for a picnic. The latter brushes her teeth while playing a recorder, telling Zhou Ying she'll be ready soon. She hears the sound and thinks Yu Yao is studying English, which makes her very happy. The latter finds this strange. On the way, Zhou Ying tells her not to study too hard and to remember to balance work and rest. She also says she won't compare Yu Yao to others. Yu Tingchuan also constantly praises Yu Yao. She is a beautiful and smart girl. Yu Tingchuan is a typical successful and family-oriented good man. She really can't understand why, when life is so good, the original character would still degrade herself, pushing herself to a dead end over a man. She laughs along with her parents. Suddenly, she sees the limping man and a woman in yellow clothes standing by the roadside. Yu Yao wonders if she can go help him. Little Apple hesitates for a moment, then thinks it should be okay. After all, this man doesn't exist in the original novel at all. The car stops. Yu Yao says she is willing to take them to the hospital. The woman in yellow happily accepts. After arriving at the hospital, Yu Tingchuan helps take care of the woman in yellow. Yu Yao asks the limping man for his ID card to help him register. The limping man expresses his thanks. From the ID card, Yu Yao learns his name is Wen Xiao. The woman in yellow is placed on a hospital bed and starts in 4 drip. Wen Xiao thanks all of them and promises to pay them back soon. Yu Yao is surprised that he actually knows her name. Zhou Ying tells Wen Xiao not to be so polite since he and Yu Yao are friends. But Wen Xiao knows clearly in his heart that they are not friends. Yu Tingchuan hands his business card to Wen Xiao, telling him to call him if he needs anything. Wen Xiao agrees. Yu Tingchuan then pulls Zhou Ying along, preparing to leave. Before leaving, Yu Yao places a card on Wen Xiao's chest and tells him to take it. Then she happily waves goodbye. He picks it up and sees that it's her meal card. He recalls that ever since he transferred schools, he had heard that Yu Yao liked Gu Shiyue. He also knew she was an arrogant and domineering person who would cause trouble for Qin Meng out of jealousy. From the descriptions of Yu Yao by people at school, Wen Xiao learned that she was not well-liked. But that day in the hallway, he saw that Yu Yao clearly hadn't pushed Qin Meng. Qi Meng had already fallen to the ground. Yu Yao almost reached out to help her up, and when she was about to kick the books down the stairs, her eyes showed hesitation and shame. When she bumped into him, she also put on a fierce act. It's just that when Xiao has met too many bad people, so he could tell at a glance that Yu Yao was not a bad person. But in the end, he felt that none of this had anything to do with him. After looking at the business card for a long time, he took out his phone and sent a message stating that he was unwilling to steal Yu Tingchuan's company's secrets and requested a different assignment. After returning home, Yu Yao saw a fruit basket and subconsciously wondered where it came from. Zhou Ying explained that when Xiao had sent it over, he also insisted on paying back all the medical expenses. She really liked his demeanor and speech and felt it was a pity about his leg. Yu Yao acknowledged this, but inwardly began to wonder. When Xiao clearly only had a seriously ill mother, so where did he get the money? Yu Tingchuan saw a note on the fruit basket, and his expression suddenly became very strange. Then he had to leave to handle some urgent matters. Yu Yao wondered what had suddenly happened. At this moment, Little Apple reminded her that the next male supporting character, Yin Luo, was about to appear. Because Yin Luo was participating in a violin competition, he would be staying at Yu Yao's house tonight. Little Apple urged her to advance the plot. After the door was pushed open, Yin Luo appeared. Zhou Ying welcomed him and told him to put his things down, rest for a while, and then have dinner. Yu Yao mentioned the matter of the violin competition to him. He didn't know what she meant. She wanted him to see a fine violin of hers. Yin Luo naturally agreed. Then he saw a violin handmade by Master Vankel himself. Yu Yao said she was willing to give the violin to Yin Luo to help him perform better in the competition, as long as Yin Luo would help her deal with Qi Meng. As long as he could make Qi Meng fail, the violin would be his. Yu Yao was just waiting for Yin Luo to refuse her request, so she could then deliver the lines insulting his violin skills. That way the plot could end. But she never expected Yin Luo to agree directly. Yu Yao asked the system what to do now that the plot had collapsed. The system didn't know either, but it wasn't Yu Yao's fault. The system hoped she could steer the plot back on track. Yu Yao gave the violin to Yin Luo and told him to practice well and not waste a good instrument. She felt that this line was no different from the one in the original text. The system agreed. Yin Luo lamented that after his rebirth, he absolutely could not act on impulse, refused to compete with a good violin, and end up unable to practice the violin for the rest of his life. From Yu Yao's argumentative words, he sensed her good intentions. He began to doubt whether Yu Yao's sarcastic words in his past life were because of his refusal. He also became interested in this cousin of his, wanting to see Yu Yao's true face. Yu Yao arrived at a coffee shop and found Wen Xiao working as a cashier there. Several girls in the coffee shop were nudging each other, deciding who should go. Finally, a yellow-haired girl went up to ask Wen Xiao for his WeChat. She told her to add the WeChat on the table to request delivery. Another customer asked Wen Xiao to deliver a large frappuccino. Wen Xiao walked away carrying the coffee. The yellow-haired girl mocked him for being disabled. A white-haired girl also looked down on Wen Xiao's aloofness. Yu Yao sat there waiting. A blue-haired man asked Wen Xiao to deliver a milk tea to him. Yu Yao could tell he was deliberately looking for trouble. The coffee shop owner told him to deliver it. At this moment, Yu Yao called out to him. She directly linked her arm with Wen Xiao's, pretending they had arranged to study together. She also lied that Uncle Lu was there to pick them up. She turned back and told the women to stop staring at him, cursing the yellow-haired woman's makeup as an eyesore and her hairstyle as very kill-mad. Then she dissed the man in red, asking where he got his sense of superiority from wearing fake shoes. The man in red was instantly angered. Yu Yao retorted that wearing fake shoes and hitting on girls was even more outrageous. The man in red was left speechless. After saying this, Yu Yao pulled Wen Xiao and left. When Yu Yao was little, a neighborhood big brother who was very good to her was also bullied because of his leg disability. At that time, she was too young to protect her brother. Instead, it was her brother who comforted her and told her not to be afraid. Yu Yao held Wen Xiao's hand and promised him that such a thing would never happen again. Wen Xiao tried to refuse, insisting he was still on duty. Yu Yao felt a little embarrassed. She was worried that if Wen Xiao continued to insist, he would be bullied. She decided to pay him to tutor her. Wen Xiao didn't want to take the money. Yu Yao thought he didn't want to tutor her and explained that she just wanted to make a friend. Wen Xiao denied it, saying he was actually willing. Then they made an agreement to study together for an hour after school. Wen Xiao began to try to believe, just once, that perhaps this world was not only filled with ugliness. At night, Yin Luo returned home. He happened to see Yu Yao thanking Wen Xiao for helping her with her studies. After seeing Yin Luo, she immediately changed her expression, arrogantly taunting him for coming back so late and mocking his amateurish skills, saying that cramming at the last minute was useless. Yu Yao felt that the hatred level should be maxed out now. When Xiao found it strange why she spoke like that, she just pretended it was because she didn't like the look of Yin Luo. He couldn't help but pat her head, thinking she was like a proud little cat. Yu Yao told him to mind his own business and promised she wouldn't be like that with him. Yin Luo stood on the balcony, watching Yu Yao happily say goodbye to Wen Xiao and asking him to message her on WeChat. He was very curious in his heart. Who on earth was Wen Xiao to make an arrogant young lady like Yu Yao so well-behaved? To advance the plot, he went to Gu Shiyue's classroom to make his presence known. A man felt that Yu Yao looked better than Qin Mang, and that she genuinely liked Gu Shiyue. He also said that if Gu Shiyue wasn't interested, he would make a move. After all, Yu Yao was indeed good-looking. He, however, believed that Yu Yao was devoted to him. No matter who tried to pursue her, it would be useless. After all, so many people pursued Yu Yao in their past life, but she still only had eyes for him. After being heartbroken so many times, she still chose to sacrifice herself for him at a life-or-death moment. Yu Yao felt the gaze upon her. She thought her part of the plot should be complete, so she turned and left. The auditorium of No. 1 High School was packed with people. The competition being held had nationally renowned art masters as judges. Performing well in this competition would be very helpful for the future. In the original story, the first prize was won by Qin Mang. Yu Yao worried that this time there would be a problem because Yin Luo had agreed to create an obstacle. But Little Apple comforted her, saying it should be fine, and told her to watch her cousin's performance. Yin Luo had already started playing the violin. She found that Yin Luo's performance, using this master-level violin, was excellent. The next to perform was Qin Mang. Yu Yao discovered that she had chosen the same piece as Yin Luo, but her performance was far inferior. Yu Yao felt that this time, the first prize would no longer belong to her. Sensing that she was about to be proven wrong, Yu Yao began to worry that the plot was going to be different again. Little Apple said that as long as Yin Luo's admiration for Qin Mang and his dislike for her remained unchanged, it would be fine. A few changes in the specific plot didn't matter. Yu Yao complained that they were very lenient with the plot, but very strict with her. Little Apple nervously denied it. At this moment, the results of the competition were announced. Yin Luo and Zhou Tao won second prize. Qin Mang won first prize. Muttering the competition rankings, Yu Yao was utterly shocked by this result, because anyone with a little knowledge of the violin could hear the difference between the two of them. Yin Luo's performance was clearly better. He was disappointed that he had originally thought fate could be changed. However, in reality, the track of fate was something he could not alter. After the host asked the second prize winners to come on stage to receive their awards, he went on stage as a second prize winner. But Yu Yao suddenly stood up and raised an objection. The people around began to whisper among themselves, thinking Yu Yao was completely crazy. They all thought Yu Yao was just doing this to ruin Qin Mang's moment. A man with green hair watched with great interest. The host tried to stop Yu Yao from coming onto the stage, telling her not to disturb the award ceremony. Yu Yao walked straight to Yin Luo and told him to give her the violin. He obediently handed the violin to her. Yu Yao took the violin and prepared to start performing. She felt that art should be pure and flawless. She told the teachers not to stop her. If this was how these teachers viewed art, the judges all started to get nervous. She first repeated Qin Mang's piece for everyone. After finishing, she said she believed the teachers could hear the difference. She played differently from Qin Mang. She wondered whether she should question the judges' professional ability or their artistic integrity. Suddenly, applause erupted from below the stage. The green-haired man stood up and said that both should be questioned. Someone recognized him as the world-famous violinist, Qi Yan. The judges began to panic at Qi Yan's sudden appearance, wondering what to do about the prearranged winner. Because of Qi Yan's words, even if Qin Mang really won first place, there would be no glory in it. Her championship would be meaningless. Qi Yan asked Yu Yao if she was interested in playing with him. Yu Yao refused such an act of showing off in front of an expert. She just wanted to stand up for Yin Luo. Qi Yan told her not to be upset and offered to take Yin Luo as a student. Yin Luo was stunned, wondering if this was real. Even after receiving the recommendation letter, Yin Luo couldn't believe it was true. Zhou Ying warmly welcomed Yin Luo back home. She praised Yin Luo as a violin prince. Wen Xiao, who had come to tutor was also still at home. The system then reminded Yu Yao that she had to build up some hatred or the plot would collapse. Yu Yao didn't want to be a wet blanket at this moment, but the system reminded her that if she didn't, she would die here and be unable to return. She stepped forward with a cold snort. She said that the only reason Yin Luo was noticed was because of good luck. Yin Luo didn't have the skill at all. He was just at an amateur level. Zhou Ying came forward and patted her on the head, displeased with her words. Yu Yao covered her head and said that's just how it was. Yin Luo also thought what she said was correct. Without her, he wouldn't have gotten such a good opportunity. Then he bowed again to thank the family. Yu Tingchuan told him there was no need to be so polite. Yu Yao was speechless. Zhou Ying demanded that she apologize to her cousin for her willfulness. She was very unhappy that she had played the bad guy for nothing and still had to apologize to him. So she pulled Wen Xiao into the room to do homework. After all, if she apologized at this point, her character persona would collapse. Zhou Ying could only try to persuade Yin Luo not to be angry. Yin Luo knew very well that Yu Yao meant no harm. He felt that he had misunderstood her all along. The plot had already collapsed. Yu Yao was very worried, wondering if her mission was doomed. When Xiao came over to see if she was angry, Yu Yao denied being angry, but she didn't know how to explain the situation to him. After all, she couldn't tell the truth. When Xiao took a white rabbit creamy candy from his pocket and gave it to Yu Yao, the latter looked quizzically at the candy in her palm. She played with it for a moment, then looked up at Wen Xiao. She wanted to know what his nickname was. He didn't know why Yu Yao suddenly asked this. She was just curious. Wen Xiao shyly said it was a Jean. She hoped she could call Wen Xiao that from now on. Wen Xiao fell silent. Yu Yao thought he meant she couldn't. He asked her why she wanted to call him that. After all, in his mind, calling someone by their nickname was a very intimate thing. Yu Yao felt they were good friends and even asked Wen Xiao to call her Yao Yao. Those two words left him stunned. At school, a girl in a purple dress praised Yu Yao for how cool she was yesterday. A girl with blue hair also praised her for playing the violin well. They felt Yu Yao was more low-key than a certain school belle and mocked that school belle for marketing herself as a violinist. The system then reminded Yu Yao that the male supporting character Dong Yu had appeared. Yu Yao proudly stated that Qin Meng was just putting on an act all along, and she just couldn't be bothered to expose her. In her eyes, art should not be used as a tool to attract attention. Dong Yu pressed on, wanting to know which of the two was the real talented girl. Although he had long known that Yu Yao was at odds with Qin Meng everywhere. But before she ruined Qin Meng's award, he was prepared not to argue with the girl. The system cheered Yu Yao on. She not only called Qin Meng a white lotus, but also called Dong Yu a fool with more money than sense for not seeing Qin Meng's true colors. He repeated, a fool with more money than sense. He felt that Yu Yao dared to say anything. He pointed out that since Yu Yao was calling Qin Meng a fake talented girl, then the real talented girl in her mind must be herself. Dong Yu wanted to make a bet with Yu Yao on who would get a higher score in the midterm exams, her or Qin Meng. If Yu Yao won, he would accept everything she said. She was a bit stunned. Dong Yu added that the loser would have to get out of #1 high school. Not to be outdone, Yu Yao said she was willing to take the bet. Qin Meng stated that if this was what Yu Yao wanted, she had no choice but to comply. She complained about her in her heart. She wasn't the one who proposed this bet, yet Qin Meng was now making it seem as if she had. She just wanted to push out a troublemaker from #1 high school without damaging her own reputation. Yu Yao was afraid that if she got kicked out, she wouldn't be able to advance the plot, so she had to agree to the bet. Dong Yu remembered her words. Qin Meng couldn't help but gloat. The girl in the purple dress worried that Yu Yao was being too impulsive, but she told them to watch how Qin Meng gets kicked out of #1 high. The two girls looked at each other, both a bit hesitant. Yu Yao found it strange that she hadn't seen Wen Xiao, as they had agreed to study together after school. She asked the girl in a blue dress about Wen Xiao's situation and learned that he hadn't come to class this afternoon. Yu Yao thanked the girl in the blue dress. The girl in blue wondered how she knew Wen Xiao. She asked Yu Yao to wait a moment. She felt that Yu Yao was a polite person, not at all like what the other girls in the class said. She wasn't the arrogant and domineering person from the rumors. So she told Yu Yao that she had overheard in the teacher's office that Wen Xiao's mother had passed away. Wen Xiao's uncle is a well-dressed but shrewd and calculating person. His mother has already appeared in a coffin. Wen Xiao was sitting on the sofa, grieving alone. Then he heard someone calling his name. He looked up and saw Yu Yao in a black dress. She said she wanted to come and be with him and reached out to take his hand. Wen Xiao wondered why Yu Yao, of all people, would appear in his world. They clearly belonged to two different worlds. Their hands clasped together. A knock on the door interrupted them. A short-haired woman came over, requesting some documents needed for the cemetery. Yu Yao said that if anything was needed, they could come to her. Wen Xiao looked extremely dejected. A few days later, Yu Yao thanked everyone for helping with her mother's funeral arrangements. She tugged at her sleeve and said thank you. The short-haired woman said it was nothing. Before she left, she urged Wen Xiao to take care of himself. He promised he would. Yu Yao told the two of them to go back inside the house first. Wen Xiao's uncle was inside, hypocritically consoling Wen Xiao not to be sad about his mother's death. The aunt chimed in. He was lucky to still have a relative like him. The uncle brought up the fact that Wen Xiao was not his mother's biological son, saying he was just a child his mother had picked up. He actually just wanted half of the house. Yu Yao was utterly shocked. She never would have thought that an uncle could say such things. His uncle explained again, arguing that since there was no blood relation between Wen Xiao and his mother, half of the house should belong to him, her biological brother. Wen Xiao calmly wanted to know what else he had to say. The uncle further stated that he wouldn't abandon his nephew. He was willing to pay for Wen Xiao's share of the house at its original price. But the aunt added that they could save the money for him and give it to him when he gets married. Yu Yao felt they were being too outrageous. Wen Xiao's mother had just been laid to rest, and yet his uncle was trying to bully him. He was not acting like an elder at all. The uncle insisted that paying half the price wasn't bullying. But Yu Yao pointed out that only they knew their true intentions. The aunt told her to mind her own business and go home, coming forward to pull her hand. Afraid that Wen Xiao would be bullied by the two of them if she left, she refused to leave. At that moment, Wen Xiao grabbed the aunt's hand. He told his aunt to take it up with a lawyer. The uncle turned around and saw Yu Tingchuan and Zhou Ying. He immediately started to stammer. Yu Tingchuan never expected his own chief financial officer to be someone who bullies a junior to swindle money. The uncle quickly tried to explain himself, but Yu Tingchuan said he could save his words for Wen Xiao's lawyer. The uncle wasn't worried about the lawyer. He was more worried about his job being finished. He began to wonder how Wen Xiao knew Yu Tingchuan. The aunt wanted to say more, but was pushed away by the uncle as they left. Yu Tingchuan scolded Yu Yao for lying about going to school. Wen Xiao explained for her, saying she was just worried that he couldn't handle so many things and wanted to come and help. Zhou Ying, however, felt that Yu Yao was just a little monkey and told Wen Xiao that if he had any difficulties in the future, he shouldn't bear them alone and could always seek help from the two of them. Wen Xiao expressed his gratitude. He felt that these 3 days had been like a dream for him. But in reality, Yu Yao had been by his side all along. He had always thought that after his mother's death, his only connection to this world had vanished, and with it, the meaning of his existence. But now he knew that he was not alone. Yu Yao was the one, besides his mother, who was still protecting him. He subconsciously reached out and hugged Yu Yao, and called her name in a low voice. Yu Yao asked him what was wrong, but he just held her tighter. She patted his back and comforted him, saying it was okay, and also told him that the bad things would pass, and the future would get better and better. Wen Xiao thought so too. People at school started gossiping, saying Yu Yao was overestimating herself, actually competing with Qin Meng in grades. Many people were waiting to see her make a fool of herself. She, however, didn't care at all. It just so happened that she was getting tutoring during this period, which could be the reason for her grades to improve by leaps and bounds. The system suddenly warned her to watch out for danger. She saw a man in black with a knife about to attack. After Gu Shuriwei paused time for her, the system told her to rush up and put on a show. Yu Yao questioned that this part wasn't in the plot, but she not only needed to continue the plot, she also needed to maintain her character persona. In order not to die from a character collapse, Yu Yao shouted, "Be careful," while ramming into the man in black. A man in a hat came out and grabbed him. Gu Shuriwei was very moved. She was clearly scared but still came out to protect him. It seemed she loved him with her life, so he reached out to help her up. Prompted by the system, Yu Yao pretended to be strong and replied that she wasn't scared. Both of them were a bit speechless. Gu Shuriwei wanted to walk her home. She didn't want to in her heart. when Xiao suddenly appeared and called out to her. He asked about their tutoring session and told her that Uncle Lu was already waiting for them. Yu Yao used this as an excuse to refuse Gu Shuriwei. He thought that she usually feared nothing, but in reality, she was like a startled rabbit whenever he got close. He thought she was very cute. He reflected on his prejudice against Yu Yao in his past life. Fortunately, there was still time for everything in this life. So he said, "See you tomorrow," Yu Yao in his heart. At home, the two of them sat side by side, reviewing their lessons. Yu Yao glanced at Wen Xiao out of the corner of her eye. She wanted to know why Wen Xiao kept spacing out. He hesitated for a long time, then asked Yu Yao if she really liked Gu Shuriwei. She wanted to deny it, but could only agree. He felt that only someone like Gu Shuriwei was worthy of her. When Xiao tried hard not to feel unwilling and felt that he didn't deserve to have such an obsession. Yu Yao looked at his expression, a little worried about his health. But he made an excuse, saying he felt a little sleepy, and ended today's tutoring session. Yu Yao felt he was a bit off today, but she could only convince herself to deal with it tomorrow. Maybe he was just sleepy. After a knock on the door, Yin Luo walked in. He returned the violin to Yu Yao and told her that he would not be learning the violin anymore. Because Yu Yao knew of his passion for the violin, she found this very strange. So she angrily told him to tell the truth. Yin Luo could only confess that it was because his mother didn't want him to continue learning the violin. He also knew his mother meant well. Yu Yao mocked him with extremely harsh words, saying that his mother's expectations were not for his own good at all. If he continued like this, his entire life would be controlled. He should try to break free from these constraints. Yin Luo recalled his past life. He lived like his mother's puppet, whether it was blind dates or other things. Everything was strictly according to his mother's wishes. If he hadn't died in an accident, the rest of his life would have been spent just as Yu Yao had described. So he gritted his teeth and said he didn't want to live that kind of life. When asked about his plans, he revealed his intention to run away from home. The system told Yu Yao that to prevent the plot from collapsing, she had to keep him there. She could only threaten Yin Luo that the consequence of running away now would be working for others for the rest of his life. But this was his only way out. He would rather live a hard and miserable life than be like he was in his previous life. Yu Yao suggested he try his luck with Qi Yin. She also gave him a card. She felt that Yin Luo couldn't go to the audition looking so shabby. She told him to pay her back later and demanded that he listen to her until the money was repaid as interest. Yin Luo remembered that in his past life, after Yu Yao's company went bankrupt, she had tried to borrow money from him. But because he detested her for framing Qin Meng, he didn't give her any. He reflected on how he had just watched coldly back then. But now, although she acted all high and mighty, she helped him every time. He felt that Yu Yao just didn't know how to express herself, but in her heart, she had always treated him as family. She must have been very sad when he rejected her in their past life. Thinking about this, he started to cry. Yu Yao thought he was crying because he couldn't stand her attitude and continued to mock him for being spineless, saying he was a disgrace for acting like this. But Yin Luo said it was okay to be a disgrace in front of her and promised to protect her in the future. She really couldn't understand why she was getting gratitude when she was clearly trying to create hatred. When Yu Yao arrived in the classroom, she found everyone staring at her. Just as she was wondering why, she saw the food placed on her desk. The yellow-haired girl told her that Gu Shuriwei had put it there. Yu Yao wondered what he was up to. She thought it was probably just Gu Shuriwei expressing his gratitude. At that moment, he suddenly appeared at the door and asked her to come out for a moment. Yu Yao was a little flustered. Gu Shuriwei actually called her by her nickname, but the system was offline. She asked him what was wrong. Shuriwei was afraid that Dong Yu would bully her on behalf of Qin Meng, so he hoped she would just drop the bet to avoid losing out. But Yu Yao didn't understand. He said he would never like Qin Meng, so Yu Yao didn't need to be so hostile. Things having come to this, Yu Yao really didn't know how to maintain her character persona. She pretended to misunderstand that Gu Shuriwei was afraid Qin Meng would lose, and firmly stated that she must win the bet. Gu Shuriwei understood her current attitude. After all, he had indeed been a bit cold before, so a sudden change wasn't that believable. But now he had plenty of patience and could use it to slowly earn her trust. Yu Yao lay on her desk, feeling withdrawn. The system said she still had a chance. Although Gu Shuriwei and Yin Luo's feelings for her had collapsed, there was still the main part. Next, she needed to stay away from the male lead, stabilize the plot, and then work hard to make a comeback and reach the pinnacle of her life. she thought of Chung Jun, who was still waiting to make his move. She took out her phone, saw the text message for today, and felt that as long as she acted according to plan, the collapsed perceptions would return to the right track. So she couldn't help but get excited that Chung Jun was going to act today. Yu Yao hid in the distance, watching the three fierce and sleazy thugs Chung Jun had found, thinking they would definitely scare Qin Mang. The yellow-haired man walked up and demanded that she be their girlfriend. Qin Mang said she just wanted to study, but the thugs didn't believe that excuse at all and started laughing out loud. The yellow-haired man even thought that good students were more fun to play with. He told Qin Mang that she would like it once she tried dating. Yu Yao began to worry that the situation was getting out of control, feeling that it was now more than just intimidation. The yellow-haired man grabbed Qin Mang. She started to panic and call for help. Yu Yao immediately went up and told them to stop. She also told them to call out their boss. She remembered that the Chung Jun in the original novel wasn't this outrageous. The yellow-haired man said he was the boss and started harassing her too. Qin Mang heard the yellow-haired man say that Yu Yao was prettier, so she pushed her forward. She claimed that Yu Yao was very open-minded and wouldn't make a fuss if something happened, telling the thugs to let her go. The yellow-haired man leaned in to confirm if this was true. Yu Yao was scared in front of the thugs. She quickly told them to call Chung Jun out immediately, but they just got angrier. They even threw Yu Yao to the ground. She now realized that these were not the people Chung Jun had sent. The system helped her call the police and told her not to be afraid. Just at that moment, an iron rod struck the yellow-haired man on the head. Gu Shuriwe let out an angry shout. The thugs mocked him for trying to be a hero and save the damsel in distress and tried to attack him, but they were instead taken down by him. At this time, the police car arrived. Gu Shuriwe explained that the thugs had been driven away. The system told Yu Yao that Chung Jun had been watching from the side the whole time she was being assaulted. Although she was satisfied that Chung Jun hated her just like in the original novel, she still felt it was outrageous to stand by and watch a girl being assaulted. Gu Shuriwe patted her head, telling her not to be afraid, and then offered to take her home. When Xiao was packing up in the classroom, when he heard people talking about Yu Yao, he learned that she had almost been robbed and was saved thanks to Gu Shuriwe. He understood why Yu Yao had suddenly told him he didn't need to come for tutoring. She wasn't trying to distance herself from him, but didn't want him to worry. He hurried down the stairs, but he saw Yu Yao and Gu Shuriwe chatting together. He turned and left dejectedly. He felt that with his disability, which always attracted strange looks from others, he was not qualified to stand by Yu Yao's side. So he made up his mind to give up. He edited a text message to Yu Yao, saying he wouldn't be able to help her with tutoring. As he was walking, he suddenly heard a white-haired man discussing Yu Yao's situation, saying the matter wouldn't be blown out of proportion. And a yellow-haired man said that for Yu Yao's sake, they would never admit to sexually assaulting her. When Xiao's steps suddenly halted, the yellow-haired man continued to curse Gu Shuriwe. Then he laughed out loud. Yu Yao went to find Chung Jun, blaming him for not showing up that day. She felt he took the money, but didn't do the job. Chung Jun didn't know how to explain that he was too shocked by Qin Mang's behavior. He wanted to know how Yu Yao planned to handle it. Yu Yao gritted her teeth on the surface, but inwardly, she was secretly pleased. At least this part of the plot hadn't collapsed. Chung Jun then said he would definitely pay back the money, but hoped it wouldn't be spent on other stupid things. Yu Yao firmly stated that she would not let him off the hook, terrified that he would say something else to cause the plot to collapse. Chung Jun recalled his interactions with Qin Mang in his past life and felt that many things had changed. Gu Shuriwe later found Yu Yao. Many people around them started whispering, thinking the two of them were dating. But Yu Yao's expression wasn't so happy. He wondered if she didn't like him coming to find her. But then he realized she was just shy from being watched by so many people. He had come this time to tell Yu Yao that those guys from before had been beaten to a pulp. Yu Yao didn't immediately realize which guys he was talking about. He explained that it was the bad guys from that day, telling her she didn't have to be afraid anymore. Gu Shuriwe wondered in his heart what kind of ruthless character the thugs had provoked. Their legs were broken, their fingers smashed, and they were thrown in a garbage heap. The old lady who was scavenging screamed when she found them, and the yellow-haired man and his gang didn't even dare to say who beat them. He felt there was no need to tell Yu Yao these details. This news did make her feel a little more at ease. This way, she wouldn't have to be afraid going to and from school. She suddenly saw the message from Wen Xiao, saying he couldn't help her with tutoring. She wondered why he had been so busy lately, so she decided to go and see what he was busy with. Wen Xiao was operating a computer. He thanked the person on the other side of the computer for helping him get things done. The other person said it was nothing and told him to contact him anytime for a job. He must make everyone who bullied Yu Yao pay a painful price. Yu Yao arrived outside Wen Xiao's house. She suddenly heard a cry. It was a man in a hat trying to lure a child away. She immediately ran over while shouting for help and kicked the man in the hat in the waist. The man was annoyed that she was meddling, but after hitting her, he had no choice but to run away. She began to comfort the child. Cheng Zhen ran over, calling the child's name. Sang Sang told him what had just happened. He remembered that on this day in his past life, Sang Sang was assaulted by a scumbag because of his negligence. He immediately thanked Yu Yao and said he would take her to the hospital. Yu Yao felt she just needed to get it bandaged at the hospital. Wen Xiao also appeared at the hospital at this time. Wen Xiao was peeling an orange for her. Cheng Zhen relayed the doctor's words, telling her to rest well and then prepare to go out and buy her dinner. She told him not to just get her something from a street stall. He said he was willing to buy whatever Yu Yao wanted to eat. She instantly knew the plot had collapsed again. The hatred from Cheng Zhen's side was about to disappear. Wen Xiao gave Yu Yao an orange, telling her to have a little something to eat. She asked him what had been happening with him lately, but he said nothing had. Yu Yao knew he had been avoiding her during this time, but she also wondered why he was still here if he clearly didn't want to see her. When Xiao saw her tears, he could only say that this was for both of their sakes. But Yu Yao grabbed his clothes. She demanded that he not avoid her. He couldn't help but lean in and kiss her, but he immediately let go nervously. He was afraid that his dark and dirty inner self would be known, and from then on, Yu Yao would never want to see him again. So he quickly hurried away. Yu Yao began to realize that he liked her. The system reminded her that the mission was more important at this time. She said that she had never been in a relationship before and would definitely start one after completing the mission. In the midterm exam hall, everyone was working on their papers. Time was up for submission. The teacher told everyone to hand in their papers. As Yu Yao was about to hand hers in, the man in gray behind her suddenly accused her of putting something in her desk drawer, saying she was cheating. The teacher came over to check her drawer and found a small cheat sheet inside. She quickly clarified that she didn't put it there. The system hadn't noticed that someone was trying to frame her and apologize to her. The teacher said he would report the matter. The whole school started talking about Yu Yao being caught cheating on an exam. She needed to make a public self-criticism on Monday. Everyone thought she had failed spectacularly. Qin Meng brought up the bet between her and Yu Yao, wanting Dong Yu to plead with the principal to give Yu Yao a chance, at least so she wouldn't have to make a self-criticism in front of the whole school. After all, a girl's reputation is very important. Dong Yu thought she was too soft-hearted. He taught Qin Meng that she should protect herself first. If the cheater hadn't been caught this time, the one being targeted would have been her. Qin Meng was very grateful for his kindness. Principal Zhou rejected Yu Yao's request to check the surveillance footage and even mocked her. But she insisted that if they didn't watch the footage, she would not accept this baseless accusation. Besides, after watching the footage, it would be clear whether she had cheated or not. She also threatened to bring her parents into it to demand the principal clear her name. Principal Zhou was very angry at her words. He felt she was being a very improper student and told her to go ahead and do it, that he would be waiting in the principal's office. After leaving the principal's office with a heavy heart, she ran into Wen Xiao. She hoped he would believe that she didn't cheat. Wen Xiao directly expressed his trust. The class bell rang at that moment. She had to go to class first, but he told Yu Yao not to worry, that the truth would come out soon. The whole school knew that Lin Bin had framed Yu Yao. They all started to sympathize with her. After some discussion, the video on the forum was deleted. Everyone wondered why the school would do that, only to find out the video was leaked due to a hacker intrusion. Someone wondered if it was the work of that Spade K, but others felt that such a master wouldn't help Yu Yao. In the principal's office, Lin Bin admitted that he did it. He just couldn't stand Yu Yao. Principal Zhou told him to call his parents and write his self-criticism. Then he told them all to go back. But Yu Yao demanded that Principal Zhou, who had branding her as a cheater without question, and made her give a public self-criticism, and Lin Bin, who had slandered and framed her, should both apologize. Principal Zhou made Lin Bin agree and write his self-criticism. He had no choice but to apologize. Yu Yao then turned her attention to Principal Zhou, stating that his words had hurt her. Principal Zhou, on one hand, mocked her for her poor grades, and on the other, threatened her not to push her luck. She questioned whether good or bad grades were the standard for determining whether one was hurt. Principal Zhou promised that if she scored in the top 100 of the grade, he would apologize. Yu Yao immediately agreed. Dong Yu felt that even if she didn't cheat, she couldn't escape the fate of being kicked out of number 1 high school. But she firmly told him that he would have to admit he was a fool with more money than sense. The system then told her that when Xiao had helped find the surveillance video, she was very surprised and prepared to go thank Wen Xiao. The man in sunglasses asked him how his consideration was going, saying the boss wanted to see him. As long as he showed up once, everything before could be written off. But if he was unwilling, they would take his life. Wen Xiao refused him very bluntly. The man in sunglasses brought up the matter of Wen Xiao helping Yu Yao deal with the thugs. He felt that Wen Xiao must care about her a lot, and said he would go have a chat with her. Wen Xiao's face immediately turned grim. The man in sunglasses guaranteed that as long as Wen Xiao went to meet the boss, Yu Yao would be safe. He added a few more flattering words. Wen Xiao then closed the door and got in the car. Yu Yao happened to see this scene and wondered who he was going out with. She then hailed a taxi to follow them and asked the system what exactly had happened to Wen Xiao. The system wasn't very clear either. The man in sunglasses soon discovered he was being followed and started to turn the steering wheel. But a large truck that suddenly appeared crashed into their car. It fell into the water. Wen Xiao felt he was about to die. Before dying, he called out Yu Yao's nickname. He suddenly heard the sound of shattering glass. Then he saw Yu Yao's face appearing before his eyes, as if in a dream. She immediately pulled him to the surface of the water. The driver brought them some towels and told them to dry themselves off. The two of them looked at each other and smiled. Wen Xiao wanted to know if there was anyone else for whom she would risk her life like this. Yu Yao said that besides him, there were only her parents. This made him feel very content, even if he could never become the one by Yu Yao's side. This was enough. He promised Yu Yao that he would never avoid her again. She happily confirmed that what he said was true. The results of the second-year midterm exams were posted. When everyone saw that the first place was Yu Yao, they all thought their eyes were playing tricks on them, discussing the possibility of going from the bottom of the class to the top of the grade in just one semester. Although no one wanted to believe it, it was the truth after all. A teacher stated that after analyzing the test paper, they discovered Yu Yao's problem-solving approach was even better than the standard answer. Her English essay, moreover, was flawless and received a perfect score. Principal Zhou even personally apologized to her. A black-haired girl began to exclaim that she was a study god. A short-haired girl also said she was too amazing. Everyone voiced their admiration. Yu Yao ran into Qin Wang and Dong Yu walking together. The system reminded her that this was a good time to bully Qin Wang. She quickly brought up the matter of the previous challenge, demanding that he, as per the bet, get out of number 1 high school. Dong Yu remembered when she was falsely accused of cheating and Qin Wang wanted to help. But now, she was so aggressively pressuring him. In his eyes, Yu Yao's character had hit rock bottom. Gu Shuriwei, however, suddenly asked Qin Wang in return if he was really so kind. Why did he initiate the challenge? He also wanted to know what his reaction would have been if Yu Yao had been the one to fail today. The people around heard that the person who initiated the challenge was Qin Wang and realized he wanted to drive Yu Yao out of number 1 high school. They then began to mock him for his plan backfiring. Amidst the sounds of ridicule, Qin Wang's expression turned very ugly. Dong Yu was willing to pay any price, as long as Yu Yao would cancel the bet. Yu Yao felt they were being too shameless. She insisted that Qin Wang must get out of number 1 high school. Dong Yu began to threaten her. In her heart, however, she was very much looking forward to the plot proceeding as planned. Because in the original story, the Yu family's bankruptcy was due to the Dong family's power. Although she couldn't bear it, this was also an important plot point. This absolutely could not be changed. Dong Yu pulled Qin Wang away and left. Gu Shuriwei guaranteed that he would definitely make those two honor the bet. Yu Yao was determined to make it impossible for Qin Wang to appear in front of her. He mistakenly thought this was because Yu Yao liked him too much, so he began to move closer to Yu Yao. This immediately sent her into a panic. Thankfully, Wen Xiao suddenly appeared at this moment. She was very grateful and immediately left with Wen Xiao. Gu Shiwen noticed his feelings for her. Lin Bin went to Qin Wang to ask how his considerations were going. Initially, Qin Wang had promised that he would date him in exchange for his help in dealing with Yu Yao. Qin Wang saw Dong Yu walking up from behind and deliberately told Lin Bin in a loud voice not to pester him. Then he rushed to Dong Yu's side. He protected him, putting him behind himself. Lin Bin realized what he was doing. Inside the principal's office, Lin Bin's mother found Yu Yao to apologize. She sincerely hoped to give Lin Bin another chance, because he wanted to apply to a military academy and could not have a demerit on his record. Yu Yao stated that she was willing to let this matter pass. However, her forgiveness was only because of Lin Bin's mother. She would never forgive him for this matter. She also took the opportunity to question Lin Bin, asking why he would make his own mother beg someone like that. After thinking for a long time, he finally admitted that it was Qin Wang who had told him to do it. The teachers were all shocked to hear this name. 15 minutes later, Principal Zhou began to ask if Qin Wang had really done such a thing. He firmly denied it, but Lin Bin insisted that he was acting under his instructions. He began to say that Lin Bin was framing him because he had rejected him. Wiping away tears, he explained that he had no reason to do such a thing. Lin Bin then went on to expose the violin competition, where Qin Wang's family bribed the judges, as well as some other slanders against Yu Yao. Qin Wang stated that he had no relationship with him and would not have told him these things. Inwardly, however, he wondered why Dong Yu didn't help speak up for him this time. Dong Yu felt that his performance was not quite normal. He pulled on Dong Yu, hoping he would speak up for him. The system reminded Yu Yao that it was time to maintain her character persona. She interrupted the discussion about the school transfer. She gave up on pursuing the matter and told the principal that this was the end of it. The principal agreed with her words, feeling that she was very sensible. Then he let everyone return. Qin Wang wanted to go to the sports field to talk with Dong Yu, but was rejected. He then suggested they play games together at night. Dong Yu did not answer. In his heart, he felt that Qin Wang had changed. While looking at the chat history displayed on his phone, a girl in a purple dress leaned over to Yu Yao's side. She asked her how the matter with Lin Bin was handled and noticed she was playing an old game, and her username was Yao Shi Xiao Xian. She explained that she only glanced at it occasionally. Dong Yu suddenly realized that during the 2 years he was sick, the person who had always been with him was Yu Yao. But Qin Wang had claimed that he himself was Yao Qi Xiao Xian. He felt he had to go and get a clear answer. Qin Wang complained that even he didn't believe him anymore. Dong Yu put on an appearance of unwavering belief. He started talking to him about a previous conversation in the game. He asked, somewhat flustered, what he was referring to. He recalled that when they clarified things in the game, they promised to never deceive each other and to always trust each other. Qin Wang immediately stated that he had always remembered those words and urged Dong Yu to believe him. He immediately understood that he had been deceived for 2 years because he had never clarified things in the game. The system prompted Yu Yao that she had triggered a side quest, the online romance quest. She was surprised that the original owner had been in an online romance and couldn't help but marvel at how strange it was. Suddenly, someone called her over, telling her that a gentleman in a suit and leather shoes was Wen Xiao's biological father. Yu Yao found it hard to believe. The man in the suit explained that Wen Xiao had been kidnapped by enemies as a child and went missing. He had never given up searching for his son. Yu Yao was happy for Wen Xiao that he could still have a family member, but at the same time, she wondered what he was here for. The man in the suit sensed Yu Yao's sincerity. He stated that he knew her family's company had encountered some difficulties. If she was willing to persuade Wen Xiao to go abroad for treatment first, he could help the company get through its crisis. Yu Yao would put her full effort into this matter, but she also stated that it was not because she wanted anything in exchange. She just hoped that Wen Xiao could have a better life in the future. The man in the suit began to feel that Yu Yao was completely different from the information he had on her. Yu Yao felt that Wen Xiao was the best person she had ever met. Although his personality was a bit withdrawn, he was very gentle and kind. She hoped that he could treat Wen Xiao better in the future. The man in the suit also made a promise, which put her at ease. During their tutoring session at night, Wen Xiao could see that something was on her mind, so he told her to just say it. Yu Yao told him that she had met his father and also told him about the matter of going abroad for treatment. Wen Xiao, however, expressed that he did not want to leave her. He was afraid that as soon as he left, she would get together with someone else or would quickly forget him. Yu Yao could not understand his thinking. He was only leaving for 2 or 3 years. It wasn't as if they would never see each other again. When Xiao stated that the reason she couldn't understand was because she didn't like him. In fact, she understood everything in her heart. She just couldn't say it out loud. Yu Yao suddenly had an idea. As long as she confirmed a romantic relationship with Wen Xiao, he would be able to go abroad for treatment with peace of mind. The system prompted her that if she did so, she might die immediately. Then it told her to prepare well for Gu Shiyue's birthday party. It was on this day that the original owner, having not received an invitation, shamelessly confessed her feelings. As a result, she ran out, filled with shame and anger, and was ultimately assaulted by thugs in an alley. And that day was also the day her family went bankrupt. From then on, she did many bad things. 3 years later, she died in a car accident while saving Gu Shiyue. Yu Yao thought that perhaps on that day, she could obtain 3 years of freedom. The next day, an invitation appeared on her desk. Because the situation was completely different from the plot, she felt she was on the verge of a breakdown. So she asked the system if Qin Wang could also be reborn. The system was surprised. Qin Wang was puzzled by Dong Yu's lukewarm attitude towards him, afraid that the matter of Yao Qi Xiao Xian would be exposed. He then comforted himself that something from 2 years ago would not be so easily discovered. When he woke up from his sleep, he discovered he had been reborn. Gu Shiyue's birthday arrived quickly. Wen Xiao's father advised him that his own health was the most important thing. He also told him that Yu Yao didn't care, that she and Gu Shiyue had long been in love with each other. Gu Shiyue planned to confess his love publicly at his coming-of-age ceremony tomorrow. There was no need for him to stay at all. Wen Xiao was unwilling to believe it, clutching at his clothes. His father then offered to take him to see it with his own eyes. Yu Yao arrived at the birthday banquet carrying a violin. She discovered that the uninvited Qin Wang had come. She opened her violin case and found that her violin was broken. The system felt that it was Yin Luo who didn't want her to go and confess to Gu Shiyue. He decided it was time to take the stage and perform. He took the violin to play a piece called Moonlit Night. Dong Yu discovered that his idea of a childhood romance was just one-sided, so he resolved to stop the confession. He believed that Yao Qi Xiao Xian was his. The crowd noticed there was no sound and began to murmur among themselves. Gu Shiyue wondered what had happened. Qin Wang called out to him. He threw himself into his arms, crying and complaining. Until the end, did you let him know about that child? Everyone was stunned by this sentence. Yu Yao immediately fled. Wen Xiao's father once again emphasized her feelings for Gu Shiyue. The fleeing Yu Yao was secretly delighted, thinking she had finally completed the mission. Dong Yu found her and revealed his identity as Jin Yuqi Wai. He wanted to know why Yu Yao hadn't replied to his messages for so many years. Yu Yao just told him to get out of the way. It was because of Dong Yu that her family went bankrupt. He explained it was because he mistakenly thought Yao Qi Xiao Xian was Qin Wang. But what she was angry about was his abuse of power. This was something Jin Yuqi Wai knew. Gu Shiyue and Qin Wang also chased after them. Qin Wang apologized to Dong Yu because the one he truly liked was Gu Shiyue. He, however, didn't care at all. He felt that those two were a match made in heaven.